My dream is dead, Ryan. My dream of Justin Fields is not only dead, he went to the one place I didn't want him to go. And I saw the tweet, I saw the news that Justin Fields had gotten traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I said, of course. I texted the Steelers fans in my life, and I said, I knew it. I knew it. I actually broke the news to my cousin who's a Steelers fan. He's traveling international. And he goes, yeah, about Russell Wilson? I go, no, you got Justin Fields. He goes, oh my God. I knew it. I just knew it. There was that feeling. I think Ryan called that too.
Months
and he's
ago.
going to Pittsburgh. Here we are. For a 6-second turn into a 4. All right, fine. Fine. I got to calm myself down and say there's a reason that Joe Flacco didn't come back. If it's the distraction thing, well, Justin Fields would have been a distraction. If I'm going to say that about Flacco, I got to say that about Justin Fields. I'm still upset about it. And I'm going to be upset about it. But people are telling me Justin Fields can't play football anymore. He's overrated. He's not very good. We got to discuss that. Conspiracy theory. Our friend, Jack Duffin, he's smelling something, man. He's thinking maybe there's something up here with Jameis Winston. Tyler Huntley signed. Vrabel coming on back. What a weekend for the Browns. Cavs are back in action tonight. We got our bracket of the week. My side of town, baby. We go to the west side of Cleveland for the best bar. I will give you the 16, Ryan. I'm open to other people and their suggestions. I'll give you the 16 for the best bar in Cleveland. It's going to be a big one out there on the west side for this week. We'll get to that coming up. We got the grid. We got a big thing in Time Hop that we're actually going to discuss before Time Hop. 2 years ago today, man, the Watson trade. We got all that. We got the morning update. We got you on a Monday right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. Brackets filled out to plenty. Dude, I saw it from Typico, man. That imperfect parlay is almost made for the NCAA tournament.
Did you fill yours out yet?
I kind of did on ESPN last night.
I haven't yet.
I don't like college basketball. I don't.
I mean, I just wait till the first four. Like I need to know everybody.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm assuming you're going to take the higher seeds of whoever makes it and that kind of stuff. And I filled one out last night. I think I had UNC making it. You know, I had Duke as a sleeper. I mean, I'm probably sitting there like, yeah, the Christian Laettner guy's pretty like that. Do you want to know why I don't like college basketball? If you're in it, you know the new players. That's my thing. Like, I need more Zach Eady's of the world. Guys that are actually there for 3 or 4 years. That's why I think women's actually has an edge. You know the girls that play. You know they don't leave for the WNBA. They have to be there for a couple of years in college. And it's just the cycle, the turnover is what gets me with college basketball. But nonetheless, brackets are out. A lot of fun with that this week with our friends at Typico. We actually have a brand new content series that'll debut this week when it comes to college basketball. I'm happy to be a part of that. So we got geared up, ready to go. A lot of Browns, a lot of Cavs, feeling energetic right here on a Monday. We start with the Browns on several fronts. And it all relates to the quarterback, doesn't it? Not. We start with Justin Fields. So he goes to Pittsburgh. It's not even that he came here. It's that I knew he was going to go there. I just had that sick feeling the whole time. It's a 6 that could become a 4 with 51% of play on the total season of snaps. He ain't getting that. Unless Russell Wilson gets hurt, that's not happening. It was made clear from all the reports that Justin Fields is the backup. And the Steelers, who were kind of in this purgatory on what they were going to do at quarterback, now all of a sudden at least have options. Are they good options? I don't know. I don't know what Russell Wilson is going to be. I don't know necessarily what Justin Fields is going to be. They have Arthur Smith, but at least they brought some guys in, and at least I see the path of we'll try these guys, and if they don't work, then we'll get into the draft again. Maybe we'll go more free. They're a little more open than where the Browns are at. We know the Browns situation. It is all in on Deshaun Watson this year. I wanted Justin Fields as that security blanket. He provides me more of a security blanket than Jameis Winston or even Tyler Huntley that they signed. Any of that. DTR, there was intrigue for me with Justin Fields. I got a lot of tweets telling me that Justin Fields is cooked, that he is washed, that he's nothing left. And I just...
He's what, 24?
Yeah, I don't buy that. I don't buy that. And people want to say, well, did you watch? Yes, I watched him play, and I saw some throws that I never saw Kenny Pickett make. I've seen plays of guys or a guy that I go, I think he could be right in the NFL, in the right system. He's got athletic talent. He's got it. I'm a believer in Justin Fields. So I wanted him to come to the Browns as a security blanket. And now seeing the price, which is just insane, that you probably could have just got him for a 5. That is going to be a 6th-round pick. He's not going to play. He's not.
You don't think there's any way he beats out Russ?
No. They told him, you're not competing with Russ. You are the backup. Because I'm sure they had to sell Russ on that. Did you see the report about Russ when he met with the Giants?
Mm.
The Giants told him, you would have to compete with Danny Dimes. And he goes, all right, I'm not going here. No way. So they sat down with him and said, we got a $40 million guy over here. It's not that you can't at least compete with him. We'll open that door, but you are not the starter. He goes to Pittsburgh, and they go, no, you're our starter. Now, what? Less than a week later, they acquired Justin Fields, and they got to sit down with him and have the same conversation. Russ is our starter. If injury happens, yeah, play. If he's as bad as everybody thinks, great. And I saw the tweets. What have they got on the books for their quarterback room? Nothing. Pennies, right? And the Browns sitting here spending all this money. I just wanted Fields, man. I just wanted him. And I know in a grand scheme world, if Watson played well, then what would you have done with Justin Fields? You're picking up his option. I don't know. I need to remind myself if I was okay with Flacco leaving because of that distraction factor, which I know people don't like, but it's a truth. It's a reality. Sorry. If I'm going to apply that to Joe Flacco, I've got to apply that then back to Justin Fields, and that's why neither one of those guys are here.
It's very fair of you, Matt.
So our question this morning, I try to be fair. I try. Posted this morning, did you want the Browns to trade for Justin Fields? All right, let me put it this way. I want to add, because it's like, would you have given up a 5? Would you have given up a 5? But the essence of the question is, did you want the Browns to trade for Justin Fields? Just put it that way, however you want to throw it up. You know where I'm getting at with it. Because there are people that'll say, no, because you're in on Watson. No, because I would have rather had Joe Flacco. Or no, Justin Fields isn't very good. All those options are available. And it's done. It's over. But I wanted the Browns to make the move. I did. And for a 5th-round pick of what it could have been, the one thing as I circle back to the draft, and we're getting willy-nilly about trading this or trading this guy or this pick, the Browns are down draft capital. On one of the sites, that what they do is they add the value. It's not quite, I think Bill Parcells had the, you know about Parcells thing, right? He came up with a very famous list where he allocated a point total to every single draft pick. And that used to be the trade guide for a lot of teams, where it's like, all right, a 3 and a 5 for this pick. Let's add these numbers up, and does that actually equal out? And a lot of teams took that as Bible for a long time. Supposedly, there was an updated one a couple of years ago of a trade guide for NFL draft picks. But I sit there and I think about the Browns situation. They don't have a lot of picks. And the one site that I looked at that kind of add their own value, we actually have the least amount of draft capital of any team in the league this year. So we felt like it was loosening up a little bit. This is the last year not having the 1. You at least have a 2. But they're void of some of those middle round picks and some of the other moves. And that's why I think the Browns might be prime to make a move coming up for the draft to acquire a few more picks. So here I am, where GMs make their game and make their name in the draft, and you're down picks. No GM likes that. So that's where maybe you really maybe getting squeezed because you didn't have the pick to give up or you didn't want to do it. I'm allowed to sit here and bang her because it's not my job. It's not my picks to give away. I would have done it. They didn't do it. Ryan, would you have wanted the Browns to make that trade for Justin Fields? Let's say it was a 5. Let's say it was just a straight up 5. Probably better than what they got from the Steelers because I don't think he's going to get the play time to boost it to a 4. Would you, made that move?
Yeah, I would have. I mean, for a 5, I mean, realistically, here's the thing, though. Like, I agree it might be a little bit of a distraction, but I don't think it would be nearly on the level of it would have been with Joe Flacco because we already saw him play. But at the same time, it's like Joe Flacco, didn't have a future. Justin Fields, you could have a future with.
Exactly. And that's why I think the pressure actually might have been bigger than Flacco.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Flacco love, which we understand, that would have been the pressure to play him. You had the pressure of now a borderline rookie quarterback. And we talk about the love of backup quarterbacks in this town. You know what we really love? Rookie backup quarterbacks. And Justin Fields is not a rookie, but in essence, compared to Joe Flacco, that would be the view of some people. So I think there would be heavy push for Justin Fields to play if he were here. And again, I have to then give the Browns credit for saying we're not even entertaining this. There was a report that there was 5 to 6 other teams that called the Bears about Justin Fields. I didn't see the actual list of the teams. It wouldn't shock me if the Browns were not one of them. They've entrenched themselves in we can't mess with Watson. This is his team. This is his year to figure out what the future might hold. And we can't deviate from that plan. No matter who is dangled out in front of you. Doesn't matter. This is our path. We have chosen our path on this thing, and we can't get off it. So I give them credit for that. Some GMs, some of the, the feistier GMs, they made that move. John Dorsey might have made that move. I don't know. It's probably why he's not here anymore. So I trust Andrew Bear from that standpoint if he feels like this is truly the right move, and they got to go on Deshaun Watson. I head over to a tweet this morning from our friend from Jack Duff and OBR. We'll have to get Jack on this week because him and I have gone back and forth on the Watson restructure, which again, they still haven't done, and I don't think they will. But Jack sent a tweet over the weekend when they signed Tyler Huntley. So former Pro Bowl quarterback, there you go. And he comes in as what I thought to be a fourth quarterback, maybe a little developmental kind of guy, camp arm. You're always going to bring in 4 quarterbacks. You got a guy coming off injury with Deshaun Watson. I don't even know if he's throwing yet. You got mini camps coming up. You needed a 4th arm. You needed a Jeff Driscoll type. You needed a whatever guy to bring in here just to throw and see what you got. So they had the ability to bring in Tyler Huntley. My gut initial reaction was, okay, you start the year, you have Deshaun, you have Jameis as your backup, always on the active roster. You maybe have DTR on the active roster, but then he's inactive every Sunday as your emergency 3rd quarterback. And then Tyler Huntley plays it out in preseason. Hopefully you sneak him through to the practice squad, and he's your developmental quarterback on the practice squad. I do subscribe. You should always have, frankly, I think you should always have a kicker, punter, and quarterback on the practice squad. Mandatory. You need kickers, but you never know about that, and a quarterback to at least just work on. And some people even sent the tweet. You're telling me you don't know a little bit about Lamar Jackson?
I was about to say he'll be a hell of a scout too.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I'm not necessarily overreacting to Tyler Huntley, but Jack sent a tweet that he just found that move very interesting. And he sent this tweet over the weekend that it got his wheels turning. That is maybe something else up. Is there something else afoot? Is Watson's injury maybe not progressing the way they thought? Is Jameis Winston maybe not coming here? These are all just things Jack are just bringing up. These are not reports, just Jack. So he followed up this morning, a tweet right before we started our show. And he said, my gut is guessing Winston might not be coming to the Browns. And in fact, maybe going to the Denver Broncos. Here's Jack's rationale. Number 1, he would be a starter there, a bridge quarterback, rather than a backup. Number 2, probably get a little bit of a pay raise there to be the pseudo starter. Number 3, he knows Sean Payton from their time down there in New Orleans. Right? That's where they had to have run into each other. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Jack keeps bringing up, why would they sign Tyler Huntley? And Jack even puts in the tweet, this is just his gut. This is just some of the dots that he is connecting. We have not had the official announcement on Jameis Winston. Am I missing that? No. So that's why we're at. And in free agency, we've seen it even just this year. Guys change their mind. Until that pen is to paper, guys change their mind. And maybe Winston was waiting for that out. The Broncos situation is an interesting one as well. How did they not trade for Justin Fields? How in the world did they not make a move for it? My gut on the Broncos tells me one of two things. They are going to draft a quarterback, J.J. McCarthy or Jake May or whoever falls, or they're truly in it for a full-on tank season. And you don't want, maybe Jameis Winston is a good tank quarterback. I don't know.
No, so, I don't think Sean Payton would tank.
I don't think so either. So then they're in it to find a quarterback. Free agency at this point looks pretty bleak. There's not out there, or they're going all in on the draft. I just thought it was interesting from Jack of, let me ask you this. Do you think Tyler Huntley is a signal of something? Are you buying anything that Jack is selling here, or are you feeling, no, we're still in on Jameis Winston. He's coming here. We're just signing Tyler Huntley.
I'm not really buying into it.
I got to tell you, I don't think I am.
Yeah.
I look at it. I think there's an opportunity, a guy that you do have some familiarity with because you played against him a few times. He lit you up in that one game that you played. Beat us. So you see a project. You see a guy that, again, maybe fits, and I know people freak out about what the scheme is and who fits and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. So I'm not going to read necessarily into that. But, man, what a pull that'd be from Jack if this actually happens. If it really came out that Winston was not going to come to the Browns after all. Dude, you talk about an identity crisis for some Browns fans. If they picked Jameis Winston over Joe Flacco and then Winston still didn't even come here, oh, God. Holy cow. Not necessarily us, because we were okay with Flacco not coming here. That would be a little bit of a twist of the knife to some people, though, Ryan. Because you picked Winston over Flacco, and that was a big move, and people
But it's not
were
like they
upset
picked
by it.
Winston over Flacco from a talent standpoint, I don't think. It was more of a,
A
distraction.
Fit, a distraction thing.
So
sure.
it's not like we can go back on it now.
Well, then, again, and I'm just playing out a crazy scenario. This is not a report. This is not actually happening. But in the crazy scenario that it's not actually Winston, then what are you going to do? I don't feel confident about this season being just DTR and Tyler Huntley behind Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, who cares? We're not going to do
I know
anything
you
with
and
the
I are
backup.
more
Yeah.
of the mindset of the backup shouldn't have to play.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. Maybe just ride out with DTR and hope that Watson doesn't have to play.
Might as well. I mean, that was the whole thing with DTR. It's like, I know you didn't spend that much capital on him. What was he, a 5th rounder?
Yeah.
I mean,
And I loved that pick. That was actually, that literally was one of my favorite picks that Andrew Barry's ever made.
yeah.
I'm big on DTR.
What's your plan? Just keep him in the back shelf for the next 2-3 years? I mean,
Well,
just see what you have in him.
it's you got to play him at times. The thing is that coaches can get that. They can figure out a guy through training camp and practice. Eventually, yes, you'd like them in games and you'll get a lot of preseason action. The Browns have a good gauge, in my opinion, of who they think DTR is. Again, you draft a guy with the idea of you might be a future starter, and they said that to him because you want to keep him engaged. You want to keep him pushing. In reality, if he played out to be your backup for 5 years or 8 years or whatever it was, well done. That's a well-spent pick there. And that's probably the path that we thought we were on. And if you got to pivot off that with Watson, which we'll get a lot more of that going on still, you got bigger problems to figure out. But it's just, there is a little intrigue out there. There is. So I think we're all just going to kind of wait to see. I think it's a little interesting that they've not officially announced that yet. And then Fields gets the move there. They trade away Kenny Pickett.
Where are the extensions for AB and Stefanski?
I don't know, man. I thought Combine. I really did. I'm way off on that. So they're working through that. On the field, extensions or restructures too still don't have JOKs. There's a couple other guys because Dak got his deal. He got a bonus, like a roster bonus flipped that helped save some money and add some void years. There's a couple of guys that I saw. I think even Jack might have mentioned some of the Teller and Bitonio. They have some of those bonuses that could get flipped. It remains to be seen, though, man, that they still haven't done Watson yet. And I'm just maintaining, I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to stay away from that. You got to bite the bullet on it now, keep some flexibility for the future. Still plenty off season. There's still plenty of off season that they got to get through, and there's still moves to be made. Big move, though, even more than Tyler Huntley, was Mike Vrabel, coming in as a consultant, hired by the Browns to do a little bit of everything. Coming back, Walshite, and you look at it no further than this seems to be Jim Schwartz paying off a friend, right? When Mike Vrabel was in Tennessee, he brought Jim Schwartz in, I think even off of his illness that he was dealing with. There's a closeness there. And I sent this tweet. And I said, and I'm not going to lie, this got a little bit of a fandom type of tweet. And I'm not one of those people. We know who those people are. But anyway, I said, it's nice that they can make this kind of move. And you just accept it for a nice move. This is a great hire. Mike Vrabel's a really smart football coach. To have him in the building, to pick the brain on the defense, players, scout, whatever. I'm happy that he's here. There is in no world that I feel like he's pushing Kevin Stefanski for a job. And I love Emmett Gold. Emmett is one of my closest friends doing this job. And he sent a tweet. He goes, dude, just wait till they lose 2 games in a row. And people will be, and I get it. And I understand where Emmett's coming on that. I think once you get that extension from AB or for Kevin Stefanski, It's just a nice move. And I do think Browns fans are at a place that we can just accept it at face value. This was a smart guy, a smart move to bring in a good coach. I'm not complaining about, and I'll tell you this, and I'm a Stefanski supporter, so you're not going to get it from me. And I think anybody that really does try to bring it up during the season, you know that they're just clickbaiting or they're just a troll for being a troll. There's no move to be made. Kevin Stefanski's your head coach. He's going to be your head coach for a long time. They had an opportunity to bring in a smart guy that knows the NFL and can help out. Good move all across the board. Find me somebody that didn't like this move of Mike Vrabel coming in. There's reports they were hanging out at the Combine, and it continues to earn the narrative, Ryan. Coaches will do anything to stay away from college. This guy, I know he's getting paid, all that, and he's made good money, and he'll be a head coach again in the NFL. I feel pretty strong about that. He could have been not a head coach in the NFL. Well, maybe a head coach in college. I don't know. But everybody wanted Ohio State. I don't think he was taking over Jim Knowles' defensive coordinator position. But if Mike Vrabel showed up, they probably would have given him a position coach, something. He took a consultant role to just stay in the NFL. Don't nobody want to coach college, man. Don't nobody want to go there. And I wouldn't either. If I was him, knowing that his future is probably to be a head coach again, you stay around the game, you stay in this consultant role, and I'll tell you this, on the 18th of March of 2024, and bring this back up, January 15th of 2025, Mike Vrabel will be in the head coaching cycle next offseason. I don't know if he's going to get a job, but he will get brought up for jobs by staying in the NFL. I just thought that was super interesting, too, like just to stay away from college.
Yeah, dude. Why wouldn't he? He gets to kick his feet up. They'll give him a call when they need to
know.
Consultant
role is like
he's chilling, man. He gets to stay in the NFL. He doesn't have to deal with all the college BS that's going on right now.
I think anybody would love to be a consultant, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You get paid to just kind of give your opinion.
They hit his line. He probably couldn't have signed that deal fast enough.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing, to come back to Ohio, to come to a building team, and to help out where you can. And it's a strength that I think the Browns have.
You think we'll see him at some Walsh games?
I'm sure he would. Why not? Head on down. You know, I'm an alma mater there. Kind of hang out. Maybe help them. I don't know. But, I mean, I did take that move at face value, which was nice. It wasn't the drama BS. This guy's going to take over the defense, or he's really going to take Kevin Stefanski's job, or the pressure. No. And the Browns, give them credit, too, to have the strength to say, we can handle this. Go ahead and bring, which is kind of funny if they're dealing with the Watson thing. You think Kevin Stefanski's not feeling good about his position to say, I don't mind bringing in a former head coach. By the way, the Browns have 3 out of the last 4 NFL head coach of the years on the staff and the assistant coach of the year in Jim Schwartz. You don't think that takes a little stones there from Kevin Stefanski? And I know he knows that contract is on the table. And they're probably just working through a few things. There's a confidence level there. That is one of my favorite things. The play is fine. The players are good. Have the confidence that you know your people are in place. They're not going anywhere. It doesn't mean that it's always going to be smooth sailing. It's going to be rough. You got to power through that. But one of the powerful things to get through that is believing in the people that are in place. And if you got anti-things about Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski, I don't know what to do except argue with you. More on Stefanski. AB, you want to rip apart a little draft pick here or rip apart this. Guy keeps making moves and they keep paying off well. They do. This guy made a lot of smart moves. Kevin Stefanski, 2-time coach of the year. What else do you want? So they had the confidence that we can bring this guy and that's all good, man. And I'm assuming Mike Vrabel to not come here and pull a Todd Haley. I'll just bide my time and take this job from this guy. No, come in here and help out where you can. That was interesting, too. The reports are he's going to help out a little personnel, too.
Yeah, I saw that.
A little dabble in it all. Smart guy in the building. Nothing wrong with that. Still got to have the confidence to bring him in. They did. So I like that move very much for the Cleveland Browns. Our question is up this morning. Vote, follow, at Matt Fontana Show. Did you want the Browns to make that trade for Justin Fields? We'll get to that. Ryan and I both voted yes. That's where we're at today. Earl of Olmsted tweets, Browns come in 3rd in the AFC North next season, and that's if Watts can stay healthy and isn't rusty. I mean, yeah, you're staring up at Baltimore. You're staring up at Cincinnati. Are you at all more worried now about the Steelers? We discussed Russ a lot last week. Does Fields change anything for you there in your outlook for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No, because we just said he's not going to play.
He's not going to play. He shouldn't play.
So it's really not going to bother. I mean, it's just you wanted to keep him out of the division. That's basically all it was.
Well,
if he ends up panning out and the Steelers can get him right. Because, I mean, if there's an organization that could probably do it, the Steelers would be one of the ones to bet on.
The other thing, exactly, the Steelers organization. If that's like, again, it's going to take me today to get over this Fields thing. It just really is. But the Steelers are a really smart organization.
But it's just like
if they felt like that was a smart move to make, then I got to feel like it's a smart move to make. Yeah. Now, again, they have Russell Wilson. We have Deshaun Watson. It's not apples to apples on this. I understand that. But they saw something. They felt like this. And again, if you're saying it's a 6th-round pick slapping you in the face, you got to eventually take that. Man, the Bears, that's it.
Yeah, I know.
That's it. And everybody was screaming last week. It'll tell you what the league thinks about him. Maybe I'm wrong on Justin Fields. Maybe all these scouts and coaches will tell you he's not good, man.
But at the end of the day, it's like there's no downfall. All it is upside
That's kind of my point. That's why I wanted him here. He's not. I don't know what else to tell you. You know what I will tell you, though, Ryan? We got a boost. Ah, let's go, Cavs! Come on now! Come on now! We are 6.5-point dogs tonight against those Pacers out there in Indiana.
Our boost hit this weekend.
Yeah, nice job on the college boost. Well done. I had no place in that, but I cashed that. Well done. Folks, we're back with our boost here with Tipico. 3 legs tonight. I like the over. I like a little George Niang action tonight. We went Darius Garland on the final one, did we not?
Yep, there over 29.5 points and assists.
All right, what do we boosted up to there, Ryan?
Tipico boosted up to plus 385.
All right, let's get signed up right now. Tipico, download that app. Use the code Fontana100 and get geared up. When are the play-in games tomorrow? Not tomorrow night?
For college?
Yeah.
Today and tomorrow.
Today and tomorrow. There we go.
I'm sorry, tomorrow and Wednesday.
Tomorrow and Wednesday. We got the tournament starting Thursday, folks. We gave you a little primer on social media of that imperfect parlay. Now, this doesn't count for the boost because the boost is the boost. But the imperfect parlay for the tournament, you can do a 7-leg parlay. You want 5 of those 7 to hit? There's a cash for that if you win it. There's, 6 out of 8, 6 out of 9, 7 out of 10. It's the imperfect parlay with Tipico. And you can do this for any sport, but I'm telling you, college basketball is where it's at, man.
Did you catch the end of that Kent game?
Crazy. They fouled. What were they doing? I don't know.
Oh, man.
I'm just happy that it was Kent Akron. I know they're upset because Toledo was the #1 seed and they didn't get to go and all that kind of stuff.
I feel so bad for that kid, man.
I know. J.R. Smith, man, you're in the game. You think you're right, and you're not. And it kind of played out. But you had a lot of craziness this weekend, a lot of brackets. I was hosting last night, and they said this tournament were some crazy stat. Like only 3 times in the past 10 years or something like that was a bid stolen in a conference. And what they meant was an automatic qualifier got a bid, and they wouldn't have made it. So then that took out another team.
Yeah.
So it was something like 3 times in the last 10 years that happened. Ryan, we had 5 this year alone.
Wow.
Oklahoma not making Seton Hall.
I was watching
Rick
the
Pitino's
selection
pissed.
Sunday, man, and there's a ton of teams that just you're like, where are they?
Yeah. The Big 12 was solid this year. What they said, 8 teams, and Oklahoma's getting ready for and now the other wave is that none of these teams are going to play in the NIT.
Yeah, I saw
and
St. John's. I saw.
Yeah, Pitino's pissed. Calling them fraudulent on all this, what is it, the Ken Palm and the Q1s and the quadrants and all that kind of stuff that you get. But again, folks, I'm telling you that the imperfect parlay on Tipico, that's where it's at, man, for this tournament. And you need some credits. Again, I tell you, I'm sorry, are you feeling a 15er tonight, Ryan? What do you think?
I don't know.
All right, I'm in. Place my bet right now. Don't mind the text from my brother. There it is. Boom, Tipico in. Plus 366 on our boost. Use that code Fontana100. I had buddies that signed up this weekend. They go, Matt, I used up all my other things available. Tipico's here for you. If you're a new customer, Fontana100, deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want. You get $100 in bonus bets. Get in a NASCAR with me, dude. I had 4 guys to win at Bristol yesterday. At one point of the race, they were running 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow.
Did not have Denny Hamlin, who won yesterday, of course. But That's how it goes. NASCAR, tennis. We got golf. How's the Players this weekend? Wasn't that fun?
He's unbelievable, man.
Scotty's so good. I feel bad for Wyndham Clark, man. That was literally 3/4 of the way down.
Yeah.
But he missed it. I look back at his putt at 17. He missed that one. But anyway, we got it all. Tipico is where we're at. We love them very much. Great stuff. And again, we have some content coming out with them all surrounding college basketball. I'm happy to be a part of that. Well, Ryan, we normally do time hop in about an hour. And we go back and I tell you movies and I tell you other things. We're going to expedite it a little this morning. Because when we come back, it was 2 years ago today that the Browns franchise frankly changed forever. And they traded for Deshaun Watson. I want to relive that day a little bit for you. I want to talk about where we're at 2 years later, other moves across the NFL. We'll get more back into the Browns and where they sit, their quarterback situation and all that. We got our Cavs to discuss tonight as well. We got you all locked and loaded. A little bit of Browns to discuss the next Fontana show right here on Big Play.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
How does an Ohioan build the perfect parlay?
Who's got something? Big guys looking for long odds.
The kids in Columbus are covering better than anyone, and at even odds.
If it's even, I'm leaving. Listen, our championship DVD starts today, all right?
Dude, I just got an invite to a Cincy playoff watch party.
Shut up. Cincy, State, Cleveland, the perfect parlay. I'm a genius.
For the best odds on Ohio sports, bet with your cojones.
It is Spanish, dummy.
Bet with Typical Sportsbook.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
So I always do time up. We do it around 10:30 every morning. I always have some fun nuggets in there. Ryan, there's one we can't really avoid. Because 2 years ago today, everything changed for the Cleveland Browns. They traded for Deshaun Watson. I loved your question we just posted at Matt Fontana Show on Twitter. Describe that move, 3 words.
I'm sure that'll elicit some very...
I'm sure it will. That's what we do here. We elicit the reactions here on the Fontana Show. Welcome back right here on Big Play. Streaming, we're up on YouTube. We're up on Twitch. We stream on Twitter, Instagram for all our reels and posts at Matt Fontana Show across the board. Drop us a follow there if you can. Dude, 2 years later, I would never imagine it. And I try to go back to the shock of that day, right? When people, when I talk to people, it's like, oh, craziest day that you ever had doing this job. And I was like, well, both the LeBron ones, when he left and when he came back. The parade was it was an insane day, absolutely insane day that I could spend 2 hours telling you stories of that day. The Odell Beckham trade, massive. And then there's Deshaun Watson trade. And that one happened like I want to say afternoonish. It wasn't like Odell. Odell was late night.
Yeah. It was like, I want to say it was like noon one.
Something like that. And the Browns, and what made it such a crazy flip was he was gone. He was going to Atlanta. And he had this no trade clause. And then it comes out, again, I'm assuming whatever. He got a sniff of the 230. How are you going to turn away from that? Whether that's tampering or not, that God James Franklin wasn't around to screw this up. Kirk Cousins keep his mouth shut about Kyle Pitts. We wouldn't have any tampering problem. I mean, it was probably that. I don't know what transpired. I think we all have an idea, whatever. And he flips course and he says, nope, I'm going to waive my trade clause to go to the Cleveland Browns for $230 million fully guaranteed. And the Browns make the move and they flip. And that day, I remember being on the air, and we called Mina Kimes, and she came on with us during breaking news, which was so great. And Mina was like, I don't like this. For all the off-the-field stuff. And that's where, at that point, what we have to remember, we didn't necessarily have the clarity on what had happened. And 2 years can change a lot of thoughts. And, you know, he settled most of these cases. There's one that's still kind of out there, what allegedly happened. The one thing on Watson, and again, what I want to do here is just kind of revisit on how people feel about it 2 years later. And again, I'd love to hear the three words on how you would describe it. The thing for Watson, what I said that day was I didn't like it because I didn't think he was a good person. And I don't know, right? And I kept saying this over and over that I was conflicted. And people hated me here saying that. Because they'd rather, and you shouldn't do that in this business, sit on the fence because it hurts the boy. You either got to be like, he's done, he sucks, he's a predator, get him out of here, or I'm all in, he's a franchise quarterback and he's here. And I didn't know where to be. Because I saw a guy that I thought could play and put up all these numbers, and you have this giant stuff off the field. And one of the things that really struck with me was something that Dee Haslam ended up saying later in this timeline, where she said, Deshaun Watson's going to go to therapy, and he needs to go to therapy. It's mandated. He's going to be there because he doesn't understand what he was doing was wrong. And that kind of changed some things for me because Watson initially was extremely defiant of what happened. And he said in that press conference over and over, I never disrespected anybody. I've never treated a woman poorly in my life. All these things over and over. I sat in that introductory press conference, Ryan. I asked a couple of questions. Mike Greenberg aggregated one of my questions on that presser, by the way. And I asked Sean Watson, do you regret anything? And he goes, no. And I said, what's been the hardest part? And he said, not being able to play and everything that had happened. It was this whirlwind that descended on the Cleveland Browns. 2 years later, I frankly have kind of moved past the off-the-field stuff. Doesn't mean that I allow it. It doesn't mean that it's just like, whatever. It's that if the majority of women that were affected by that, if they found their restitution and their peace with it, who am I to judge that? It's not my business. It's their business. And if they feel like a settlement if they're okay with how things played out, then I have to be okay with how things played out. And I know there's still a couple to go. It doesn't necessarily excuse what Deshaun Watson did or didn't do, but I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge in this case. It's for that. So when I focus back in on football, and 2 years later, Ryan, I feel like he's played 2 games for us.
I know.
I feel like he's actually played 2 games for us in 2 years. The 6 games, getting back, what difference was that? Who cares? Then this season, I feel like I got him in the Cincinnati game. I feel like I got him in the Baltimore game, and then that was it.
Yeah.
And the whole future of what he's going to be or coming off this injury, that's unwritten. And really, we get back to our question this morning. 2 years to the date after the move. Describe it in 3 words. Describe the trade or how you feel about it in 3 words. Do you know the 3 words that I have, Ryan?
What are they?
I don't know.
I put clock is ticking.
I don't know.
Well, here's
I have no, and that's like, it's not even that I tell you this seriously. I'm not even leaning one way. I have no idea if he's going to be good or bad.
Well, here's the thing. You got one real, realistically you have a couple more years, but I've said this.
I think you got one.
I know, I've said this. Realistically, I think you have one. And there's no way around it that there is still a chance that it can turn around and work out. However,
1,000%.
However, yes, it does look at this moment very, very bleak. And I don't think anybody really right now, you ask them to, if you go back to that day and you could know now what you know then, obviously, nobody in their right mind would say the Browns should do that trade.
One of these things would be, is it the money or the picks that bother you more?
It's got to be the picks, because
the money, you see what guys are getting,
money.
all that kind of stuff. You see what they're doing.
It's 100% the picks.
Yeah. Is that photoshopped? I'm sorry.
What?
Oh, that was 3 years ago. So obviously, that was the Odell trade. And Reflog sent a tweet that said, watching all these Andrew Berry's offseason moves, and it was a gif of the next thing I know, I'm pregnant. And then Britton Berry tweets back and goes, true story. She was pregnant with her daughter. That's a little awkward there. Little insight to the personalized there. I thought that was today. I was like, wait a minute, what happened? Oh, sorry. I got.
Oh, I think Matt, we got our best 3-word response so far.
I love it.
Link in bio. At least they did
Justin
3 words.
Fields thing, and somebody sent back a word I shouldn't say here, but I'm not going to. But lady parts in bio. You know what I did? I copied that and I took out all the words. I left those little, like, what do you call them? They're not even like emojis, but those little blocks. And I put Justin Fields trade in bio. That's what I wanted. Those porn bots are nuts.
At least they stuck to the rule
Hey,
of 3 words.
you know what? That tells me that tweet's getting traction. That we're already getting the porn bots already replying.
We got quite a few responses.
I know. I like it. You want to run through? So again, I'm going to say I don't know. Ryan says clock is ticking.
Yep.
Some responses. 3 words to describe the Deshaun Watson trade on the 2-year anniversary of said trade.
Danny, blah so far. Marvin, complete unmitigated disaster.
Okay, that's right. I'm gonna be a stickler on the 3 here.
Chad Henry,
Yeah.
effing shit show.
Why'd you bleep effing and then say shit show?
Because effing
Is that different?
Yeah, I
and
feel
the George Carlin 7 words
Yeah.
there? All right, fine enough. Fair enough.
Worst decision ever. Well, this dude didn't stick to 3 words. Browns had to move on from the last guy, but this trade continues to age worse as each day passes. If people want to live in denial regarding what he has shown so far, and
Not
what he may be
aging
capable
well.
of.
He should have gone not aging well would have been his 3, but okay, I'll take that.
Nick Padone, big play family.
Shout out to Nick.
Jury still out.
That's kind of where that's what I'm saying. I don't know. They will figure that out one way or another this season. So the thing about the 2 years, and why I want to have this discussion about it, have we not seen monumental quarterback moves over the last 3 years? And I sit there, or 2 years, I'm sorry, 2. And I say, if he wasn't here, you don't know where you could be. And it could be bad or good. You could have signed Aaron Rodgers and he would have torn his Achilles. You could have traded for Kirk Cousins and he not be very good. But there was so much quarterback movement, and there seems to continue to be, that you might have been in a better spot. I don't know. Then you got to remember, we still made the playoffs last year.
You know,
you still had this team built, because the Watson trade aside, which I have to say this. Could you imagine where this team would be with a couple first-round picks on this team? Imagine, and I know it's butterfly effect. I know that. But imagine you had the team that take Watson out of it, and you added a couple of first-round picks to this team?
It'd be dangerous.
Holy cow. Let alone if one of those guys was a quarterback. There's a parallel universe at CJ. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that's the craziest part of this. To go back again 2 years ago today when they made the trade, I get where the Browns were at. They said, we feel like we have now hit a ceiling, and this is the furthest that Baker Mayfield can take us. The Browns were ahead of the curve. Of all these quarterbacks getting moved and getting paid, they were just ahead of the curve. And at the time, put their eggs in a basket of what should have been a young guy entering the prime of his career and has goals of being a franchise quarterback, but has all this other stuff. All this other stuff that, lo and behold, was going to impact his career. He hadn't played that last season there in Houston, and you, me, and everybody knew that a suspension was coming. They knew a suspension was coming, and they still made the trade for that. They gave him the $230 million. What did they say after that? We envision this being a long-term thing. We'll keep moving the money. We'll keep flexibility. This isn't just a 5-year thing. It's even longer. That honestly might be one of the biggest switches. I feel like the Browns are off that hill right now. And they're not wrong for doing that. They're not wrong from just the optics of jumping off this might not actually be this 10-year move that we thought it was.
Toby had a good one that I think is undeniable.
Yes.
Houston Texans won. Or
Yeah.
Houston won trade.
Well, yeah, they won that trade. They have C.J. Stroud. And I don't know the picks that they all used to get those players, but yeah, they won. Absolutely. On a salary cap thing, too. You got C.J. Stroud on the cheap right now. Yeah, they won that trade. They won that trade. 100%. There's no question on that. But I think that's so weird it's so secondary for me in a way on who won and who
Yeah,
lost.
I mean, it does
because it's like I feel like the Browns just on their own lost. I don't feel like they've won this 2 years in. And the thing is, you could try to tell me that 2 years in is, I know this sounds crazy, I'm just going to say it though, it's not a big enough sample size. It's not. That first year was all but washed, and now he got injured. If you really wanted to take that approach, to say 2 years isn't enough, I'd probably call you crazy and disagree with you. But there's that world. And seeing how the Browns navigate this offseason and seeing how they're going to handle this, I guess, dude, here's the other. It's more than 3 words, but indulge me for a second, if you will. Looking for a way out. I feel like that is where we're at. That we are borderline on the precipice.
That's dangerous, Matt.
Of looking for a way out.
That is a dangerous, slippery slope.
I know. And you got to leave the room, you got to leave the door open for what happens this season. We'll see. But I just didn't think, Ryan, 2 years in, 2 years to the day, that we'd be here. Now, you would say, hey, man, we made the playoffs in one of those years. You made it without Deshaun Watson. I did not have that on the bingo card. I did not have that the day they traded for Deshaun Watson for me to say, well, they made the playoffs in the first 2 years. It just wasn't with him. Did not have that on the bingo card. Where are you at with the injury? Now, let's take away everything else. Let's talk about the fact that he's got an injured throwing shoulder with an injury that I've heard people say that has never happened to a quarterback before.
The glenoid.
Yeah. And he's still not throwing. I mean, what's that factor in this? Is there anything to be read into about Tyler Huntley or Jameis Winston on the injury? I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't heard reports on it yet. Because you could look at it that way. Here's okay. Would you make the trade again 2 years later?
Well, that's what I said. Nobody would say they would. Nobody.
No, of course not. Of course not. It tells you it didn't work. It tells you it didn't work. If you can ask yourself that question 2 years in, obviously the Houston Texans are saying, hell yeah, we would. Even 2 years into the Odell trade, I don't feel like it was to that point yet. I mean, it was about to get cut, but still. Like, it went really fast. This accelerated so fast of borderline blowing up in the Browns' face.
It's because you saw what happens when you have a competent quarterback playing for this offense.
That is also a factor. I mean, the other thing is, it's not blown up yet. People want to make definite comments. They want to be able to say without a shadow of a doubt that this guy's done. I can't do that. Again, I can't even tell you. I'm not leaning one way or the other because I have no freaking idea. I have no clue of what I'm going to get with Deshaun Watson. If you sat me down and tied me up in this room and said, you can't leave until you give me a lean of one way or the other to Deshaun Watson. Ryan, you know where I'm leaning? He's not going to be good. So 2 years in, it's the worst case scenario. I don't know. That's the worst thing. I don't know. And then to pile on top of that, if I am leaning one way, I don't think he's it. 2 years later, what a mistake. What a mistake. There's time to get it remedied. There's time to get it fixed. And there's hell that we have all gone through and scars and wounds and all that kind of stuff on how the play is gone. You make the playoffs with them, you go to a Super Bowl, that all disappears. It's all just a part of the story. And it's all part of the journey that got you there. We don't care anymore. What happens if you don't? What happens if you don't? You're just sitting there saying, we wasted the years of these guys and we missed the playoffs here and there. It's just crazy. Has the 2 years not felt like 10? If I told literally 2 years ago.
That's the crazy part. You're not even halfway through the deal.
Just 2 years. Just 2 years ago, they made this trade.
Not even halfway through the deal.
Just 2 years, they made this trade. You're right. Not even halfway through the deal.
Like you said, that's the problem because he hasn't played. He's barely played. So it's like, how do you gauge it? Except that it's been an utter failure.
Mike tweets missing in action. Top Dog says, what the blank? I get it. I get it. These are some tweets. So I sent this out, just telling people about it. Joe tweets, big day indeed, and the jury is still out on whether it's going to be viewed as a great day or a terrible one. Ryan, this day was insane. I screamed like a baby. I got one healthy season, and Deshaun Watson will show everybody. Oh, I'm sorry. So Ryan is saying, this day was insane. I screamed like a baby. One healthy season, and Deshaun Watson will show everybody that regardless of stats, he's a winner. So Ryan's a still believer. All right, Ryan, I'm on board. Come on, let's go. The tone. This would be a great day to harvest harvest the ground for some cold takes from folks that are posing on how much they hated this move but loved it then.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
I mean, Cold Takes Exposed lives for that kind of stuff. The problem is tone. Can I really egg those people right now?
So, Matt,
can I really flog them in public? Because we don't know.
Let me ask you this. Do you think you're obviously leaning on the fence, right? You said you're not really ready to lean one way or another. Do you think if I took out that half against Baltimore, you'd be completely one-sided?
Probably off to the side. You don't think he's going to be very good.
Yeah.
Which, again, we're grabbing onto a half of football.
I know. Isn't that nuts, though?
I really feel like he's played 2 games. Two legitimate games. Ben tweets, 2 years later, we're waiting for him to finish the season.
Yeah.
Play a season. What of available games? I can do this math. 34 available games. I think he's played 11. Something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
6 and then parts of 5 here this season.
Yeah.
And I got to call a couple tweets here. Signed him and traded for him to get hurt. And the whole point of this tweet here is that this injury not going to go away. I don't know about that. I mean, who knows? But yes, this is a throwing shoulder injury. This is a chronic. I don't know, man. The other thing was that was a trade, even unlike Odell. The Odell one, everybody could get excited because you were like, all right, even if you don't really like Odell, but there was that was a trade as soon as they made it. There were people that straight up were like, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea for the picks, for the money, for all of it. So again, this is Adam Schefter's tweet. This day 2 years ago. Deshaun Watson has decided he wants to play for the Cleveland Browns in a stunning change of events per sources. Watson has informed the Texans he's now willing to waive the no-trade clause to be dealt to Cleveland. The Falcons were then told he's not going there, and then the trade package came out about an hour later. This tweet came out at 3:46 in the afternoon 2 years ago.
Yeah, dude, I remember I was playing basketball at my buddy's house that I still play to at this day.
Yeah.
And I remember I was so excited because I was the first one to check my phone. I got to tell everybody the news. I said, man, Matt, we got a quarterback.
Yep. Then they had to move on from Baker. All of it. What a time. Just 2 years ago today. Our Twitter question is up on another trade for a quarterback. Did you want the Browns to make that trade for Justin Fields? Ryan, please update our votes on that if you got it at Matt Fontana Show.
Yeah, 263 votes. About 60% say no. About 40 say yes.
All right. I'm on the yes camp. So is Ryan. A little bit of scuttlebutt to continue to kind of fall out from there. Do you feel like that's the last big move there for free? I mean, that was the last gasp. I think everybody's waiting for Kirk Cousins. That happens. Everybody's waiting for Justin Fields. Now we're off to the draft. I'm not buying this Justin Jefferson trade bull crap. I know there's a few free agents still kind of lingering out there, but I feel like free agency is now done, dusted. You're in the books, and the team you got's the team you got.
Yeah, I think we're definitely really marching towards that draft. And I mean, I'm sure we'll see some trades here. We had our first draft day trade last week.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be getting a couple more of those. But I mean, all things considered, it's winding down.
And people are starting to connect the dots. We were talking earlier about the Browns being down on trade capital there. Did they move back from 54? You want them to go up. You posed that draft or that the trade of going up in the draft.
Ended like 50-50, man.
I know. Ryan's proposal was 54 and Greg Newsome to get up into the late first. And at that, you're talking about one pick for one pick. What you don't want to do is like a second and a 3 and a second and a 5 or whatever to move up because the Browns are just low on picks. But there is the vibe of them trading back to acquire more picks. I guess I just come back to say his team's pretty built. You don't need a lot. I'm fine with adding 5 draft picks to this team.
At that point, you know, it's Andrew Berry. I trust him.
They got the cap space now. A couple of restructures they'll get to get their cap space for the rookies in. We'll see how that goes. All right, we got a lot of Browns coming up in hour 2. We'll get back to our boost with Tipico as well. The Cavs are back in action tonight. We'll discuss Donovan Mitchell. I don't know if you got in the morning update, Ryan, but what he's saying about that knee is a little concerning to me. He's not feeling the same. He's not feeling that explosiveness. I doubt highly he's going to play tonight if that's not already been announced. I'll have to search with that. And Florida gets a bad rap for being crazy nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go up the seaboard a little bit. Because I got to tell you what happened in New York over the weekend. And it's got a Florida tie, which I'll tell you about coming up in a little bit. We got the grid. And it's not about bath salts. It's about something else. But anyway, we'll get to the grid. We'll get to the morning update. We got time up as well. Folks, Monday, always one of our biggest days here at Big Play. We kick things off 9 to 11. Tonight, Blake and Greg Williams, come get some. We got Hanford Dixon show. We've got the Big Play Cleveland show all coming your way.
Big guest on Reflog.
Can we say who?
John Fanta.
Oh, nice. Fanta. I mean, no better person to talk college basketball than John Fanta.
Cleveland's own.
Borderline the face of college basketball here in Northeast Ohio. Everybody loves John. He's all over it, man. So that's a great guest tonight there on the Big Play Cleveland show. Follow us at Big Play. You will see all of our shows. You will see the new Cincinnati shows that we got flying with James Rapine. Enter the Jungle tomorrow. Thursday nights, the Big Play Cincinnati show. We're not done, man. We're not done yet. We got some more big shows coming this offseason that we're going to get lined up and go. And we're going to have a whole new way for people to watch us. We have a whole new fancy, dancy way for people to get all the content that we have. You know, we got a lot of shows, a lot of hours. You know, we're on 10 hours a week. Everybody else, we got a brand new way coming out very soon. I can't talk about it just yet because it's in development. It'll be there soon. We got some big things cooking for us right here at Big Play. So we always appreciate your support, appreciate people that watch. Follow at Big Play across the channel. We got really... People got really excited about all the merch that we had, too, this weekend.
Yeah.
We did a couple of giveaways for some of our merch. I texted Cody, how do I not have that Cavs shirt? The CLE Cavs colors one? How the do I not have that? He goes, don't worry, I'll get one in the mail for you. I was like, thanks. Be rocking that bad boy. BigPlay.com. Check it out. Got all the merch there. All of our shows. Check it out. Big Play on Twitter as well. YouTube, Instagram. It's all the place that you need right here. Big Play. Morning update comes your way next. Ryan's got the stories. Stay with us.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yep.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You know, you saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
How does an Ohioan build the perfect parlay?
Who's got something? Big guys looking for long odds. The kids in Columbus are covering better than anyone, and at even odds.
If it's even, I'm leaving. Listen, our championship DVD starts today, all right?
Dude, I just got an invite to a Cincy playoff watch party.
Shut up. Cincy, State, Cleveland, the perfect parlay. I'm a genius.
For the best odds on Ohio sports, bet with your cojones.
It is Spanish, dummy.
Bet with Typical Sportsbook.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
All right, let's get to it. The morning update. Our Twitter questions are out, asking everybody on the 2-year anniversary of the Deshaun Watson trade. Please describe it in 3 words. We'll get to those. The Justin Fields trade is out. And I got to add a story that you might think be coming from Florida, and it's not. We'll get to that coming up as well. Morning update plus Immaculate Grid. Ryan, take it away. The stories we got to know for a Monday.
Alrighty, Matt, with the big news for the Browns this weekend was former Titans head coach Mike Vrabel is going to join the staff there in Berea as what they said was a personnel consultant. I think a great move for the Browns, and Mike Vrabel gets to stick around the game he loves.
Yeah, I mean, just come in, pick your brain, kind of relax. I don't want to say take a year off, but I think, Vrabel was in the running for some jobs. I'm a little shocked that he didn't. But you bring him in here. He keeps his career kind of, vibrant. He's around. He's going to be still consulting with people and in the know. And he wants to stay in the business. I feel pretty confident saying he'll be a head coach somewhere next year. I'm not going to already start, trying to pick who's going to be gone. But I think he'll get a job next year. So to stay in the league, to come back to Northeast Ohio, and a team that he has a lot of connection with, mostly with Jim Schwartz. And they were meeting at the Combine, and he felt like he was the right fit, and they bring him in. What's wrong with that? Nothing. You brought another smart person in to pick a mind or think about defense or just talk about personnel. I love it. I know people are going to be wanting to talk to him. It's, usually the consultants don't have media availability, but I'm sure Mike Vrabel's going to have some media availability coming up. It's a great move. You brought a good person in, a good football mind. I'm all for it. Get geared up. We'll see how it goes. The funny thing is, Jim Schwartz even really need any help? How good that defense was last year. You bring back, I thought about this weekend. The chunk of guys that you just brought back. Yeah, and I don't want to say that it's ever as easy of just running it back, but Jim Schwartz must have liked what he saw. Harris, Hurst, Zadarius Smith, all back.
Yeah, the D-line, man.
All of them back. He must have liked what he saw. And I'm going to have to guard against that a little bit to say, it's just simple. What we did last year, do it again. They're going to adjust to you as well. But Jim Schwartz is a smart guy. You got another smart guy, Mike Vrabel, on the defensive side of things. I expect another top 5 defense this year. I really do.
All right, well, the Cavaliers are back in action tonight. They dropped one against the Rockets that you didn't like to see, but they're back against the Pacers. Hopefully they'll get the win tonight, Matt. But, however, Donovan Mitchell said something that you have a little bit of concern about.
So Mitchell said that his knee, he's not feeling right. He does not feel explosive with the knee. So he's got the bone bruise in the left knee. He got that PRP injection. Is explosiveness not a pretty important job or a pretty important qualifier there for Donovan Mitchell? And, it's one of the funniest phrases in sports. He's a quick healer, right? You hear that about some guys. Oh, he's a quick healer after surgery. I don't know. Maybe it's time to sit him down again. I've not seen anything for tonight, Ryan. Am I missing that?
I haven't seen an update yet.
There's no way he plays tonight, right? There's no way. The other thing was Donovan saying he thought he was ready to come back. He's not. Sit him out. Sit him back down again. You got it. I don't know what the rules are on how many PRP injections you can get, but if you got to get him another one, get him another one and try to get this fixed up, man. I'm trying to be so positive on the Cavs, man. It just seems like every turn I just get kicked in the boys.
No, just
it's
what
just
I
something
said.
else, man. And
nothing for him till the playoffs.
Yeah, it sounds like Chris Fedor wrote this yesterday. It sounds like, again, Mitchell's headed for another indefinite absence. Sit him on down, get it healthy. Tonight, I'd like him to beat the Pacers. We're 6.5-point dogs on the road. I'd like a little. I do feel like the Cavs have some little magic that they pull from time to time. I don't know if they get it tonight, though. That's why I stayed away from it. I'll just take the over. Get some points up there. Our boost is up. Tipico, use that code Fontana100 when you sign up. Deposit and bet $25. Get $100 in bonus bets. You can use it on our boost today for the Cavs tonight. College basketball's going. Let's see. I watch every game for what it is. I hope they win. The other thing, they signed Marcus Morris, that 10-day contract.
I saw that.
All right. I mean, I don't know. Get Tristan Thompson back. A little bit of toughness. We'll see. But sitting Mitchell down seems to be the plan. It's unfortunate. Just get him right for the playoffs. But then at that point, man, I'm running out of games and getting his minutes up, getting the flow back, all that. We'll see.
Alrighty, we'll dip into the college rank selection. Sunday was yesterday, Matt. No Ohio State. They didn't make it, but they announced Jake Diebler is, in fact, going to be their next head coach. Went 6-2 after replacing Chris Holtmann in February.
They didn't deserve to make it. They needed to win one more game in the tournament, the Big Ten tournament. They didn't. The other quote that from this weekend that I got that I think is more important was the statement from the Alliance. Is that what it's called? The NIL for Ohio State? And they were like, we're all in with Jake Diebler. Good. Because they straight up said, what? Okay, hang on, wait. What is it called? Ohio State NIL Collective. What's it called? The Foundation. That's it. The Foundation. And I want to read, if they have it on their website. Hey, we got a 50-50 raffle, Ryan. You want to jump in and help out?
Nah.
You get 85 tickets for $40. Spring game, 50-50. $10,000 jackpot at this time. $5,000 goes to you. It'll go up. Sale ends, in April. So we got plenty of time. Plenty of time. We can help the collective here, man. The statement from the NIL, from, again, the Foundation, which is the Ohio State Collective, they basically said, we spent a lot of money with Ohio State football in January. They straight up said this in a statement. I'm paraphrasing, but they said, we just spent a lot of money with Ohio State football, and look what they did. We're going to spend a lot of money for Ohio State basketball. Watch what we do now with Jake Diebler. They got a really young team, which is good. And you got a little bit of Mo. You got a little bit going there with Jake Diebler. Get a couple of transfers in. I think they have 2 kids coming in the freshman class next year. Good for them, man. Good for them. We'll see where it goes. I'm not a big college basketball fan. I want to see Ohio State relevant. I hope they can do that under him. Off to a good start. They made some noise, but frankly, they did not deserve to go to the tournament. And we got our brackets yesterday, which were fun.
Alrighty, well, another young quarterback joins the AFC North down there in Pittsburgh. Justin Fields traded from the Bears for a lowly 6th-round pick, Matt, and that Pittsburgh quarterback room looks a whole lot different than it did last year.
It does. It's going to be Russ. I think he's going to play the majority of the season. Do they make the playoffs? Do you feel like the Steelers are a playoff team right now? I kind of think
they made
about
it last year with worse, so it's how can you say no?
I think, and I keep bringing up Arthur Smith as the big key to all of this. He's a good offensive mind. I know he had some stink on him for not being able to be a head coach in Atlanta. Some guys are just meant to be really good coordinators, and I think Arthur Smith might be a good coordinator. At the very least, I know he's going to get the most out of Russell Wilson. How much juice is left? I don't know, but I know they're going to get the most out of him. They have some weapons there. Dude, they could sneak in and take a playoff spot away from the Cleveland Browns. Don't sleep on this, man. This division continues to be the best in football. There's no question about that again, and it's really hard to get 4 teams into the playoffs. 3, we got that. But if you think the Bengals are coming back, you don't think it's a down year for Baltimore? Do I need to start putting some Maloik on Baltimore?
Nah, we might have to.
Maybe that's it, man. And there's a path for the Maloik. They lost some guys, man. Not everything's going quite that you thought. Maybe Todd Monken gets exposed a little there in Baltimore.
They lost McDonald.
Could you see Baltimore being the one AFC North team to not make the playoffs?
That would be nice.
Wouldn't that be a flip? I'd take that all day. We'll see. I'm upset that Justin Fields is not coming here. I'm more upset that he went to Pittsburgh.
Alrighty, Matt, but before we wrap up this morning update, you had a story for me that might involve a Florida man, but it wasn't exactly in Florida.
This guy deserves to live in Florida. He does. His name is Tony Cavallero. So Tony Cavallero is 64 years old. He resides in the Buffalo suburbs, not New York City, but of Hamburg, right outside of Buffalo. And he had the New York Department of Environmental Conservation show up on his door and remove his 11-foot pet alligator
I did see this.
from his basement pool.
I saw that.
Cavallero purchased Albert the alligator in 1990. This gator is 34 years old. He's as old as I am. He now suffers from spine issues and is completely blind.
Aww.
But lived 34 years of his life in an in-ground pool in this guy's basement in Buffalo, New York.
They're friends.
So much so that this guy let his friends swim with the alligator if they wanted to.
That's awesome.
What an idiot.
That's awesome.
No, it's not.
He's friendly.
It's a wild animal, Ryan.
He's friendly,
it's
clearly.
An alligator in your basement.
Clearly, he's friendly.
I take people down to my basement to show them Batman artwork and whiskey. Hey, what's that pool? Oh, that's Albert. He's the alligator. You want to jump in?
You're a hater.
Dude, an 11-foot alligator in your basement.
Friendly. He's clearly friendly.
New York Department of Environmental Conservation knocked on his door and removed the alligator in connection to a law which was passed in 2020, which required him to pay for zoo insurance and install a fence, which he didn't. Gee, maybe a good idea to keep the alligator in the home. I had a sliding glass door, good enough. Cost him $15,000, he wouldn't pay for it. The agency says Albert is currently in possession of a licensed caretaker as it searches for a more permanent home. What is up with these people? And I will start with a base. I don't like snakes. I don't like alligators. I don't like having something in my home that can kill me. I've got a little dog. His name is Alvin. He's 35 pounds. I love him to death. He is the best dog that I've been around dogs my whole life. He's literally the best dog in the world. He's a good boy. He's great with our kids. Even, I know pit bulls get a bad rap and German shepherds and all that kind of stuff. I don't want something in my house that could kill me. Dude, how about, seriously, how do you go to sleep at night hoping that Albert the alligator doesn't get out of the basement and come up to your room and eat you while you're sleeping?
Because they're best friends.
It's an alligator, right? Are you going to train an alligator?
Yeah.
Do you take him on walks?
You could domesticate it.
There are so many of these people that take these exotic animals. And how many stories? I feel like we get these once every couple of months. They raid a house and they go, yeah, we found 35 venomous snakes. There's another 40 lizards in there that this person wasn't supposed to have. Well, they're a caretaker. They're a hobbyist. My ass. No way. Imagine if that was in your neighborhood. Would you feel safe? Imagine if your neighbor, Ryan, had an 11-foot alligator in the bottom in a pool in their basement.
For my dog.
And they never told you. You didn't know that. I'd be pissed. I've got kids. I've got a dog. I don't want to know that. I want to know. My neighbor, he harbors venomous snakes. He considers, and that's the other thing too. How many of these jackasses go, I watched a little Steve Irwin. I know what I'm doing. Okay, man.
I watched the whole Lion King.
Oh, yeah, I know what's going on here. I can handle that snake. They find him dead 3 days later. What happened? They got bit. Laying there dead. Then the python got out and tried to eat him. I do not. That is one. And people can do their own things, man. Everybody's got different hobbies. That's one that just. An 11-foot alligator. Guess how much he weighed, Ryan? 750 pounds.
Wow.
And from the video I'm seeing, that was not a very big pool for that alligator. In New York. That's a Florida story,
Albert's
right?
probably going to have separation anxiety.
The problem is they're going to have to put him down, man. He's 34. He's got spine problems. He's blind.
Yeah, that's
They're going to have to put him down. Cavallero says he hopes to be reunited with his longtime pet, although it doesn't seem like there's a chance. Although it does seem likely there's a chance he's ultimately hit with criminal charges. Yeah. Do you have the license? Do you have this? Again, they needed a fence.
I heard he had his license, but it expired in 2021.
Again. Oh, I gotta bond with that. Okay. All right.
Maybe he does.
Sure. Then there's that story that guy tried to bring his emotional support alligator on a plane and stuff like that. People are insane. People are nuts. That's just an 11-foot alligator that's your pet. That's just not, like, again, a pet, a dog. Cuddle up with it. Play. What do you do with an alligator?
I didn't know there were alligators in New York.
That's what I'm saying. He obviously had to live there because he would have froze in the winter, right?
Yeah.
Bought him in 1990 as a baby.
Aw.
Yeah, I mean, so he literally grew up with this alligator. So I guess it's a great question that I would default to some animal expert. Is there a bond there? You see those stories about tigers, right?
Yeah.
And lions. In 2 seconds, they could rip your head off. But they see these people that were their caretakers or raised them, and they come running up and they play. Dude, you better hope they're fed. Before you start playing around with them, they better get their dinner. Because if not, they're going to start looking at you. Dude. And the other thing, too. A lion, if it truly was it, okay, that's one thing. I watched this documentary on this bear, Bart the bear. Same thing. Rescued from a wildfire. His mother passed away, and this family raised him. And he actually became a bear that was in movies.
It's adorable.
And yeah, you see him, and he's playing around. And again, one swipe could take you out.
Cuddling with him.
But you can't do that with an alligator. That's my whole point. A lion or a tiger or a bear, that's one thing. What do you do with an alligator? What's the whole point? Just to tell people you got an alligator in your basement? Party favor? Have him come out and do tricks?
Marco Polo?
Then, again, literally out of this story. Cavallero constructed the in-ground pool inside his home. He also allegedly allowed some of his guests to take a dip with Albert if they were feeling brave enough.
I would do it.
Oh, you would not. You're insane.
Albert? He's chill.
No.
Yeah, he's a chiller.
Especially on their grounds, man. You're in that water. I don't think you get out. All he's got to do is say, you know what? I don't feel like being a pet today. Gone.
Barrel roll.
Done.
Yeah.
Enjoy your arm while you got it.
Yeah.
That's all she wrote, man. That's all she wrote. Oh, he's blind.
Love's a dangerous thing.
Okay, man. All right. That's even worse, though. Wouldn't he be on edge? He's blind. He can't see anything. He hears a splashing in the pool. He's probably whipping around. What the hell's that? I better bite it. Nuts. That guy needs to be living in Florida. That's a Florida story, but it was in New York. An 11-foot alligator in his basement. All right, let's go. Kicking off the week strong here with the Immaculate Grid. Here we go. Got to go up and down. Got to go left and right. Got to fill it each out. We had a solid week last week. Really, last week was our week of misses. Yeah. We were so damn close on a couple, but here we are. Immaculate Grid. Ryan, our final statistical category, please.
5,000 yards rushing career.
Rushing career. Go. Here we are. All right, let's start.
You just want to rip Frank Gore? He played for the Colts, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So we could save him for that.
We'll just put him in there for the Bills. Unless we want to use... hold on, because he works for San Francisco, too. So if we can't think of a San Francisco Colts player, hold off on Frank Gore. We will get to him coming up.
Okay.
Thurman Thomas. I don't think he played anywhere else either.
For the Bills?
For the Bills, yeah. Wait. Yeah.
88 to 2000?
Yeah.
Is he at 5,000 yards? You're sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played for the Bills, too. Click it.
Pretty sure?
Click it. All right. A little word. Chris McCaffrey's fun. Rams, do you want to go? I don't know if Todd Gurley got to 5,000. I mean, you could just go Eric Dickerson.
I was going to say just Dickerson.
Yeah, just go Dickerson. Wait, but he also played for the Colts.
Did he?
Yes. Put him in. Unless, can you think of another LA Colts? Let's hold off and let's go to Colts right now. Can we think of a different Colts? Really, any of them? Because if we can fill that out, then that'll help us on a couple other ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, man. So now I'm just brain locked on the guys that we came up with to kind of shoehorn them in there a little bit. That's a bad pun with Colts. Sorry about that.
Should we just do... Frank Gore definitely played for the Bills and Colts.
Right, but I'm also saying, but if we have a tougher time with San Francisco and the Colts, he applies there. I think San Francisco Colts might be the key, the linchpin for this thing. I feel like San Francisco to the Colts, is easier. Oh, yes, DeForest Buckner. Duh, moron.
For Niners Colts?
Yeah, first round pick gave up. I like DeForest Buckner. He's very good. That's an idiot on my part. That's who I was talking about. So DeForest Buckner, and now you can go Frank Gore up there. All right, there's a little puzzle game to be played here.
Frank Gore 100% played for the Colts, right?
Yeah, we're good. Do you want to finish out Colts-Rams? Anything you're thinking there? Again, Eric Dickerson, I believe, counts for that. So then a 5,000-yard rusher over there for the Rams. And again, they just had to stop by there.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley, I think, has to have 5,000, does he not?
Yes. He has to.
Do you want to rip it? I mean, I can't. I'm trying to think of like another. Oh, Marshall Faulk.
Okay.
Again, for the Rams of St. Louis, but I think it counts.
Yeah.
Marshall Faulk. All right, now go Eric Dickerson.
I didn't know Eric Dickerson played for the Colts.
I feel almost 1,000% confident. Yeah, okay.
All right, let's focus on one.
Focus on it. 3 minutes in, we got 6 to go on a timer right here. All right, Houston Texans. Why am I sniffing Dre Greenlaw? Did he not play for the Texans and then go over to the 49ers? Am I misremembering
for Texans and Rams, we could do Brandon Cooks.
We could. Yes, very much so. Good call. Get that out of the way. All right. San Francisco 49ers and Texans. I don't know why I'm sniffing Dre Greenlaw on this. But I don't know if that's actually... All right, hold on that. And then, all right, let's go up to Buffalo and the Texans.
Okay.
Buffalo and the Texans.
Did Fitzpatrick ever play for the Texans?
I don't know. I don't know. Our quarterback cheat sheets of Josh McCown, Josh Johnson, and Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't know. Kickers? Anything there? Wide receivers. Andre Johnson never went to Buffalo.
And Arian Foster, I don't think ever went there.
No. Where did he go after the Texans?
I think the Dolphins.
Did he?
Or something, I don't know.
Something like that. Fitzpatrick.
Oh, what's that one dude's name? He's played for the Texans, the running back. Lamar Miller.
He would work for Miami.
I know he'd work for Miami.
That's a good poll. But I don't think Buffalo works there. I don't think that counts. Jordan Poyer, no. Trying to think of any Browns connections that we might have there. All right, do you want to just get the Texans San Francisco out of the way?
You said Dre Greenlaw?
I think.
You're not thinking of, are you thinking of Kinlaw?
Javon Kinlaw, no. No. For some reason, I believe Dre Greenlaw. I know he plays for the 49ers. And I don't know why. I just picture him in a Houston Texans uniform. Let it rip.
All right.
Let it rip.
Dre Greenlaw, right?
Dre Greenlaw.
It's only been 2019 to 2023.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he just got... I'll leave it up to you. I don't know.
Well,
now I'm second guessing. Now I'm
save
second guessing. All right, can you come up with another San Francisco Texans connection here? We haven't been thinking kickers. Kickers are a tough one for this. Because they drafted Jake Moody, so he just got there.
They had Robbie Gould for a while.
Did he not ever kick for Houston?
I don't know.
I think he did.
Did he?
I think he did.
I don't know if he did.
He's been well-traveled, man. I don't know why. I think Houston might have fit there. Matt Schaub, longtime Houston quarterback, no.
Ryan Mallett?
I don't think he ever appeared in a game. I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, wait. Case Keenum.
Did he play in Houston? He played at the University of Houston. He played... Oh,
yeah, he just played us.
Yes, Case Keenum.
And for the Bills, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We overthought that one
Yeah.
way too much there. All right, we got 2 minutes here. 2 minutes.
So we have Dre Greenlaw in our back pocket.
We got Dre Greenlaw in our back pocket, but I don't like it. Vernon Davis? No. He went to Washington after he left San Francisco. Ted Ginn never played in Houston.
I don't think so.
No. Again, he and Blake and Greg doing this would be a lot of fun just because they in 2 seconds would be able to rip
be
off
a
some guys.
quarterback.
Darnold, no. Yeah, like you want to think like Nick Mullins or some like just career backup type guy. I actually think this is one that Josh McCown, I feel very confident saying, does not work. I don't think he ever played in San Francisco. So we're out on that one. Jeff Garcia? No. I don't think he ever went to Houston. Alex Smith? No. Man.
Gotta be a running back. Where'd Trey Sermon go?
He started in San Francisco.
I know that.
Did he ever go to Houston? I don't know.
That's what I was asking.
I don't know. You want me to Google that just to see? Because, again, they had to have played a game. Trey Sermon, Indianapolis Colts is where he's at right now. No, he would not have counted. He would not have counted. He didn't go to Houston.
Try Dre Greenlaw?
We might have to, man.
It's going to be such an obvious one, probably.
All right.
No.
No! Oh. Damn. What? I can't see the screen.
Carlos Hyde.
Yeah.
David Carr.
Yeah.
Brian Hoyer.
Hoyer's another cheat sheet for this. I didn't know he... Oh, that's right. He did go to Houston. By God.
Deshaun Gibson.
Yeah.
Joey Sly. There's your kicker.
Yeah, there's the kicker. Damn it. Should have thought of Hoyer, man. I'm actually a little more upset on Carlos Hyde. We should have got Carlos Hyde on that. All right, little rough start to the week there for us when it comes to the Immaculate Grid, but nice opportunity. We'll get it again tomorrow. All right, more of the Kevin tweets. So we're asking this morning on the 2-year anniversary of the Deshaun Watson trade. 3 words to describe it. Kevin goes, I miss Baker. Fair enough. Stephanie tweets, a train wreck. That's pretty good. Pretty good. I like all these tweets. We'll get some of those more coming back. We still have a jam-packed time hop. So again, 2 years ago today was the trade. We'll get to that. We've got more things to go with time hop, so that is coming up as well. Got more Cavs to get to our boost tonight. A little bit more from Ohio State, or excuse me, a little bit more from the Browns. Chip Kelly said they're not going to push the tempo this year like they did at Oregon. From his the offensive coordinator. I don't know why that's why I said Ohio State. So we'll see. Marcus Morris official signed from the Cavs on a 10-day contract. So we got that. We'll get back to our boost tonight as well. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here on Big Play.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
How does an Ohioan build the perfect parlay?
Who's got something? Big guys looking for long odds. The kids in Columbus are covering better than anyone. And at even odds. If it's even, I'm leaving. Listen, our championship DVD starts today. All right? Dude, I just got an invite to a Cincy playoff watch party. Shut up. Cincy, State, Cleveland, the perfect parlay. I'm a genius.
For the best odds on Ohio sports, bet with your cojones.
It is Spanish, dummy.
Bet with Typical Sportsbook.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
All right, jump into it. We've been talking a lot about a big part of timeout that happened 2 years ago today when the Browns traded for Deshaun Watson, but I got a lot of other things to jump into on timeout. The 18th of March. Hopefully everybody had a fantastic St. Patrick's Day yesterday and enjoyed it very much. So here we are. Let's get into it. Also, okay, 2 years ago today, the Browns traded for Deshaun Watson. We discussed a lot this morning. Next, this day, 2022, the Guardians' win total was set at 76.5. Ryan, they won 92 games that year in 2022. You want to know the other weird thing? That was also the first day of spring training in 2022 because they had the lockout.
Oh, you're right.
They hadn't played. They settled the lockout, I think, on the 10th, and then they gave them a week of practice. Their first spring training game was on the 18th. By God, they got the games in, though. Did they not?
They did.
I've said this about baseball for a long time. They should schedule Sunday doubleheaders. They should schedule Sunday doubleheaders. And I think they're actually, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I saw a team that did have scheduled doubleheaders. Why not? Why not? The only thing is, for the Guardians, that's not a problem. But for some of these bigger teams that sell out every game, what are you going to do? Kick people out and have them come back in again? Or you haven't paid double for 2 games? Figure it out. I think we should go back to Sunday doubleheaders. Really. You know, that helped at least, you want to know what? At least have the power for the home teams. If they want to schedule them, they should be allowed. The Guardians should be able to do that. I don't want to watch, Tuesday night games. They don't draw well on Tuesdays anyway. Start scheduling doubleheaders. Do it. I think that'd be the smart thing to do. But by God, they got them all in, even after the lockout this day, 2022. This day, 2020, the Browns signed Carl Joseph, safety. I thought he'd do a little bit here. Did jack squat, nothing. This day, 2019, Dave Gettleman, Giants general manager, had to face the music at his media availability after the Browns traded for Odell Beckham. He said 2 things. Number 1, we didn't sign Odell to trade him, but another team made an offer we couldn't refuse. All right, Godfather. They just had to have Jabril Peppers, man. I don't tell. They just had to have Jabril Peppers. Had to have him. Didn't sign him to trade him, but we got an offer they couldn't refuse. It goes back to GMs and lying or not. Because you want to know this whole Fields and Russ Wilson thing? Like 3 weeks ago in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Jerry Dulac, who is as well respected as you could find for a beat reporter for any team. Guy I've golfed with. Jerry's a hell of a golfer. Used to face him in the Ryder Cup back in the day. And Jerry, writing from what the Steelers had said, they were riding out with Kenny Pickett and no interest in Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Less than a month later, they're both on the team. And I got in a debate in my old stop about GMs lying versus speaking what the truth is in that moment. And in essence, are they lying, going back and forth? I don't know. Dave Gettleman, I think he was lying. I think he was lying when they traded Odell Beckham, but we'll see. This day, 2017, the Cavs general manager David Griffin got a call from the NBA after in one game they sat Kyrie, Kevin Love, and LeBron James. The beginning of the player sitting, the PPP, the player participation policy, kind of started this day 2017 when the NBA called Dave Griffin and said, hey, man, you sat Kyrie, Kevin Love, and LeBron. They go, yeah, what'd you want us to do? It's on the forefront now because, like, Donovan Mitchell missing these games, Joel Embiid, they're ineligible for these awards. They're ineligible for the Supermaxes. Not necessarily, again, for Mitchell because he was traded here and all that. But the thing is, you're going to have other players now step up to be All-NBA that, frankly, don't deserve it. And now they're going to go back to their teams and go, I want a Supermax. I was an All-NBA player. And they go, yeah, not really. Not really. You made it because Joel Embiid or Donovan Mitchell or whoever else didn't meet the threshold. I like the number. I'm sorry. I like the idea of playing a certain number of games to make All-NBA or win the MVP. I think 65 might need some tweaking, though. And I heard Brian Winters mention this, that the PA wanted less and the owners wanted more. So they really had to sit down and come up with a number, which in essence, when you think about it, that's almost 20 games. A little less than 20 games. What, 17 games you'd have to miss throughout a season?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like that many. Seems like a good number. Maybe that needs a little bit of tweaking. We'll see. This day, 2016, the Browns were seen at Jared Goff's pro day. Had the pick, but eventually traded. And again, they wouldn't have picked him anyway because they went first overall. I thought it was Carson Wentz, man. I thought they wanted Carson Wentz. Did not work out. This day, 2012, NCAA basketball history with Ohio getting 4 teams to the Sweet 16. Do you want to guess the 4 teams that made it to the Sweet 16 this day, 2012, which was the first time in NCAA history that a team from Ohio had 4 teams. Again, a quarter of the teams in the Sweet 16. Guess the teams.
Well, I'm assuming one's Ohio State.
Correct.
Let's see, 2012. Well, was Cincinnati in it? Yeah.
2.
Dayton?
No, you would think, but no.
Okay, so I'm assuming one's a MAC.
Yes.
Would it be...
There's a lot of options there.
Yeah. Not Kent State. Akron?
Nope.
Ohio?
Ohio is correct.
Okay, wow.
You got one more. The other legacy basketball program in the state of Ohio, not Dayton, the other one.
Another MAC?
No.
Oh, Xavier.
Xavier is correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
I always forget.
There you go. Yeah. So again, for the first time in NCAA history, Ohio had 4 teams in the Sweet 16. Ohio State, Cincy, Xavier, and OU all made it this day 2012. Speaking of basketball, he came back this day 1995 with an infamous fax. I'm back. Michael Jordan announced that he'd be returning to basketball after 17 months away. Of course, famously idolized there in Space Jam because he came back because of the aliens. It wasn't anything else. Came back to play. Whether or not it was a gambling suspension, whether or not he just wanted to try baseball, I don't know. 17 months away, and Michael Jordan announces that he is back and returning to the Chicago Bulls. This day, 1892, for the first time ever, Lord Stanley presented the Silver Cup Challenge, which eventually would become Lord Stanley's Cup and the NHL champion. I, as a kid, thought they kept all the names on there. I didn't know that they took bands off of it because, like, the Stanley Cup is engraved with all the winners. And I'm like, that's a lot of winners. Like, no. They take the bands off of it eventually and replace them and put the new one on. If you won the Stanley Cup, what would you do with it? Everybody eats ice cream out of it. They drink out of it. Yeah, probably drink out of it. Ice cream sounds good. Maybe put a bowl of chili in there.
Oh, no.
Something like that. A good soup. Oh, could you imagine eating a little bit like, clam chowder out of that thing?
Ew.
A little bit of broccoli cheddar. Something like that. You got to be creative with it. Not just take it and drink out of it. You got to put something else in there. I'll throw some chili in there. This day, 1852, Wells and Fargo opens as a banking and shipping company.
I'd say they did pretty well.
Well, a lot of people still owe a lot of money to Wells and Fargo. Or now it's just Wells Fargo. But Merrill Lynch and all those ones. They literally started as like trading companies, way back in the day, and they're still just making money hand over fist off the good people, some of us out there. Very happy birthday goes to Andre Bad Moon Rison. Do you know the Browns and Art Modell? Art Modell had to have his wife take out a loan so they could sign Andre Rison. They had no money. No money. And Art Modell went to his wife and said, I need you to take out a loan so we can sign Andre Rison.
That's kind of nuts.
It is what it is. Another birthday here, Steelers legend Mike Webster. I mean, Do you know about the Mike Webster's end of life?
No.
It really sad stuff, man. If you read about it, this guy, I think first ballot Hall of Famer, multiple times Super Bowl champion, he's the center on a lot of those great Steelers teams. That was before they understood what concussions really were, man. And he ended up like living out of his truck. Terry Bradshaw was telling stories about how he tried to help him, and his kids tried to, and he passed, I think, in his 50s, his early 50s. And the story kind of goes of here was a beloved legend player, and he shouldn't have, had to end things that way, like just passing away, living out of his truck. Really sad story. If you ever read into it, it's really sad. CJ Miles, Emmanuel Clase, Queen Latifah, Grover Cleveland, Wilson Pickett, Adam Levine, and Dane Cook all celebrating birthdays.
Dane Cook funny?
I was of that era of like the 2000s where he really kind of like broke the, internet, so to speak, where he was the first, not MySpace kind of guy. The bit that I always remember from Dane Cook was like walking up to the party, because he'd always be like, he'd always do the, animated stuff. I don't know. I haven't heard from him. Did he get in trouble or something? I don't know. I haven't heard from him in a long time. And the movies that he made, none of those, like Employee of the Month, he was in Waiting.
Employee of the Month was kind of funny.
They're never really worked on that. I'm trying to think of like a really funny bit that I remember from Dane Cook. I don't know, there was something about his girlfriend going to her house or something like that. That's the only one I remember, but funny or not, I guess I would probably lean towards not. One television show for you today. Started this day, 2005. A set of twins live in a hotel.
Sweet Life of Zach.
That is correct. That is correct. I see those Sprouse, the twins, because obviously Big Daddy was their big, and then they got into Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
I feel like pretty big.
Aren't they somewhere? And then now I think they're starting to do more like, I don't know. I see them every so often.
I forget which one. One of them.
Ashley Tisdale was hot in that movie or in that show. I'll just say that. Ashley Tisdale. She wasn't when she was in the front desk chick on that?
I don't know.
You don't know? Ashley Tisdale's hot. She was in that. I think she was. And then I think the other girl from that, she's married to Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, Brenda Song.
Yeah, her. Yeah, her. So look at the stardom launch there from Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. This day, 2005. All right, Ryan, you want to get to our bracket of the week? Let's do it. Here we go. West Side Bar it is. So I could do this myself, but we leave it open to you, the fans, to give us the best West Side bar in Cleveland. We will get 16. We will get down to 1, and then they will join, Mulligans and Scorchers are our 2 winners already from the East Side and South Side. Around the corner, Char Whiskey Bar and Grill, Old River Tap, Kenilworth, West Park Station, PJ McIntyre's, Public House, Buckeye Beer Engine. I love that place, man. That's a good spot for some beer. Sauced Tap Room. Sauced Tap Room sells pizza by the slice. And they have the pizza. It's like French bread pizza.
Oh, that's
Go there and get the buffalo chicken one at Sauce Tap Room. You'll thank me later. Warren Road Tavern, third place. I could just keep going,
Make
man.
me hungry.
I know. There's a lot of good bars on the west side, man. A lot of good bars. Trying to Game On in Lakewood's a great spot. My buddy loves going there. Westlake, I'm going to need help. Avon, I think I'm going to need a little bit of help. Not really my realm there. And I don't know, by the way, I want to make mention, not 25th. 25th is going to go next week with Downtown. Downtown next week will be literally downtown Cleveland, Tremont, and West 25th.
Okay.
So I'm sure we'll get tweets about West 25th. We'll remind people to go next week. So we'll save those. But right now, it's just the west side. So again, River Bay, North Ridgeville, if you got it out that way, that's fine. Olmsteads are in on this if you got it. All of it there for our best west side bar. I'll send that out. It's out at Matt Fontana Show. You can get all your suggestions in when you'd like it as well. Ryan, let's get to our boost. Typico, yes! Here we go. Cavs interaction, and tonight, we have a little Darius Garland, a little George Niang, a little bit of the over there. Boost it on up with our friends at Tipico. Use that code Fontana100 when you sign up. Deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want. You get $100 in bonus bets. Imagine you bet that $25 on our boost tonight. You'd be really cooking and the $100 in bonus bets. That's how you get your bankroll going for the NCAA tournament this week.
That's perfect timing.
Where are you at with the Cavs? You're continued to be wait for the playoffs. The Pacers, though, we're a 6.5-point dog. So it's built in that Donovan Mitchell's not playing tonight. I don't know if I like that, man. Are the Pacers good?
Well, we're 0-2 against them.
I know. With Pascal Siakam now, too.
They put up a shit ton of points. They lead the league in points.
But they don't stop anybody either.
That's the problem.
So I like the over 224 tonight. Okay, you want some trends for this game tonight?
Yeah.
Here we go. And also, too, we're not getting Max Strus, right? Dean Wade, doubtful. Evan Mobley's still out. I'll start with the Cavs. Cavs are just 5-11 against the spread their last 16 games. 2-4 straight up in their last 6. Good trend for us tonight, kind of why I wrote it. Over has actually hit 4 out of the last 5 games for the Cavs. So I like that. Against Indiana, not good. Cavs are just 1-5 against the spread their last 6 games against the Pacers, but they are 7-3 straight up in their last 10. On the road, the under 11 out of the Cavs' last 13 games on the road, and under 10 out of their last 15 when they're on the road against Indiana. But again, with the points, I think we'll be able to get 224. If it was in the 30s, I don't like it. 224, I'm all right. For the Pacers, 4-2 straight up in their last 6 games. The over has actually hit 6 out of their last 8 games against the Cavs, and 4 out of their last 5 when they're at home against the Cavs. So there you go. Other than that, more recently, the under is good for the Pacers. 6 out of their last 8 and 5 out of their last 7 games at home for the Pacers. But I tell you this, Ryan, that's because those numbers, their over-unders are in the 40s, the 240s, because they give up and they score all day.
You want to hear something nuts, Matt?
Please.
So the Pacers right now lead the NBA in points per game, obviously, and I think it's something around like 122. On Booby's World, we were talking about how many points the Cavaliers averaged. Booby Gibson's rookie year, which I would believe was 06, 07.
86.
94.
Yeah.
That's a whole, like, another quarter.
It's where the NBA is at. Nobody plays defense. And the NBA is taking a page out of the NFL's book. They like it. They like the points in the offense. Do you want to get a little misnomer for the Cavs tonight?
Yeah.
Pacers are just 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games when they play as a favorite. So maybe a little coming up here for the Cavs. It's going to be what I've continued to ask for. I need Darius Garland to go off. I kind of, it's why we put Jared Allen in there too. This might be a big game for Jared Allen. He's going to have Siakam to deal with. I like the points a lot. I actually like the over more than I like any of the spread, any of the money line on that. So go get it done tonight. Cavs, 7 o'clock tip over there in Indiana. Gainbridge Fieldhouse is how it goes. Ryan, you're scrolling through a lot of our responses here. We asked people for 3 words to describe the Deshaun Watson trade 2 years to the date after they made it. I'll give the floor to you, man. Rip through what you got.
All righty. Clee Jake, absolute dumpster fire.
Fair enough.
Retracity, we will see. A lot of kind of those to be determined.
That's fair enough, yeah.
I mentioned this one. Toby, Houston Texans 1. Bill Wagner, big effing disappointment. Worst decision ever. Waste of money. Total shit show. Another to be determined.
On the waste of money, it's not that we count the Haslam's money. I think most people's interest really comes back to, the salary cap and being able to sign this and sign that. The waste of money doesn't really bother me because you've been able to navigate it well. And I think Andrew Berry is really good at working the cap. So if you had that, this would be a detriment if you had somebody else in there that didn't know what they were doing and they just screwed up the cap left and right. You're in a solid spot with the cap. So the money, it is what it is.
Curtis on Twitter, dumbass GM.
That's not.
Waiting for payoff. That's a good one.
No. I don't know if that's necessarily on AB.
Unfrozen caveman lawyer, waiting for payoff.
That's quite the Twitter handle there. That's quite the Twitter handle there. Dude, so this is crazy. So we were just talking about, alligators and bears earlier. Out of Slovakia, Liptovsky Mikulis, a state of emergency has been declared in a town in Slovakia after a brown bear has injured 5 people as it charged through the street. Is that where I saw that video of that bear swimming in the channel? Did you see that?
No.
It was on social media. And somebody said, I didn't think it said Slovakia, but it said just a normal day in our town, and they panned to like a channel. Like people are walking on like a bridge. They turn to a channel. There's a bear swimming in there.
Is it Cocaine Bear?
Maybe that's it. 5 people have been hurt by the bear. According to emergency services, they are state police and hunting associations have teamed up today to try to find the bear. City leaders said they've set up patrols to try to keep the bear out of residential areas. Huh. Man, scary times out there. Scary times. The other big news today, what is this royal announcement?
Yeah, I don't know.
I always try to find, I try to like find the world stuff or what's going on. This is trending. That there's some sort of royal announcement. So what? Okay, so Kate Middleton apparently is a double, from everybody said, and King Charles is not going well, right?
A lot of theories on Kate Middleton.
Then I read apparently Prince William had an affair with some lady.
There's a ton of theories.
How do you cheat on Kate Middleton? Can I ask that question?
One of the theories, is that like he has a mistress and like she's staying out of the spotlight. She wants him to deal with it.
Oh, dude.
There's theories that.
Okay, so here's the other thing, that this is just another piece of crap hell of why social media is bad. There was a video circulating around that Buckingham Palace, the flag was at half mast, meaning somebody died, and they found out that video was from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's why I hate social media. Because people can just tweet this stuff and everybody's jumping on King Charles died. He didn't. False claims is what was put out this morning. Crazy. Could you imagine if we had a monarchy like that? Could you imagine being a baby and they go, yeah, man, or you're up for this job. We don't know if you're going to be good or not. You could be a giant effing screw up. Doesn't matter. You're going to be king or queen one day. You better get lined up. You better get ready to go. I'll see. You know how things are playing out here in this country. Maybe it's not all that bad. All right. Or King Charles sitting around. What do you have to wait? 60 years or something?
I don't know.
Sitting there waiting around. Mom had the longest reign in history, and here we are. Royal Communications.
Dan Schneider's trending.
Who the hell's that?
The Nickelodeon guy. I'll be watching that. The new documentary just came out. Quiet on Set.
What's that all about? It's not that Drake Bell stuff, is it?
Well, it's all tied to Dan Schneider, who's like created all the Nickelodeon shows and how they kind of were, Hollywood weirdos with kids.
I mean, I understand. Yeah, that's a sad thing. Because he's all in the news and all that kind of stuff. What else is trending this morning? Royal announcement, London calling, which I don't understand. Apparently, there's a Fallout Xbox sweepstakes going on. Why is Ted Williams trending? Oh, there's just a picture getting circulated about him. Ted Williams. That's what's trending. Maybe we should start doing that every day to wrap it up. Just what's trending on Twitter to see. Broccoli City. Trending.
I saw that.
What is Broccoli City?
I think it's a festival, I guess.
It's a festival. In D.C., Megan Thee Stallion, party next. You want to know how old I am? I know 3 people on this. There's a whole festival with probably 20 people on it. I know 3. Megan Thee Stallion, Lil Yachty's going to be there. Great.
Who?
Is that not his name?
It's Lil Yachty.
I thought it was Yachty.
Yachty.
Yachty. Maybe you should go with that. Lil Yachty.
I'm dead.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Lil Yachty.
All right, I lied. I only know 2. Don't know Party Next Door. I don't know Friday. V's, Baby Tate, Ryan Trey. Don't know any of these people.
I don't really know.
I don't know any of these people. But Broccoli City is a festival coming up in July. Get your tickets today. We'll start doing reads for that. All right, great stuff today. Appreciate everybody's support. A lot of stuff on the Browns. Got the Cavs tonight. Don't forget about our boost. And we're going to navigate the week, man. We'll see how it goes. Coming up here with some more moves with the Browns. I think free agency's about done. Now we're getting ready for the draft. I think attention to be turned a little bit about here's the crazy thing. You're going to be sitting there waiting for the Deshaun Watson restructure. The Browns will never come out and admit, hey, we're not going to restructure him. You're just going to keep kicking the can down the road. But I do feel like, Ryan, that's about it. That's the only news I feel like is left for the Browns right now outside of a trade.
Yeah, it's big.
Which I'm sniffing a trade too.
Big mock draft time.
I did want to end on this. Are you buying anything about Jack Duffin's sniffing some stuff? He feels like Jameis Winston, something's up there.
I mean, it is a little bit weird, but I mean, I'm not going to jump to conclusions. Like, I don't know what's going on there in the contract situation.
It's just not announced, and Jack's just bringing up points to say they signed Tyler Huntley. Jameis isn't officially here. Maybe that's it. I don't know, but I'm going to take Jack's word at him on that to see if that's how it's going to go. All right, great stuff. Don't forget, later today, our biggest day on Big Play. Later, we've got the Big Play Cleveland show. John Fanta going to stop by and talk all tournament action. We'll get on Typico with that. Then you've got Reflog, or I'm sorry, the same show. Reflog's on that show. Then you have Hanford Dixon show, and you got Come Get Some with Greg and Blake Williams. And then the whole week are Cincinnati shows. Drennan, Chico, us here every morning, 9 to 11. We got it all geared up. And I do want to tell everybody, keep a primer out from Typico. If you don't follow on Typico on social media, you should. We've got a little college basketball series that I'm actually going to be taping this afternoon with some people. Karan Butler going to be a part of this. And we're going to just be sending out some snackable content on information on what we're going to do, games that we like, upsets, all that kind of stuff. So we got that in short order coming up with our friends at Typico. Going to be exciting.
Do we think Akron can beat Creighton?
I'm not a big Creighton believer, man. Again, I haven't watched a lot of college basketball, but they did a lot. I'm like cramming for a test. So I was on ESPN last night cramming for that, and now I'm going to go cram for this. Not a big believer in Creighton.
They have some big wins this year.
Let me look at the men's bracket. Why can't I get a bracket, too, that just takes up my screen? Like, the printable one never fits. The PDF is crap. The interactive one's not good. All right, JPEG. I think UConn's going to the Final Four. I like UNC. I don't like Houston, and I really don't like Purdue. I like Tennessee to go along. I like Duke. Upset in the first round. For my co-host last night, he swears Yale's going to beat Auburn. 13-4 upset.
Nope.
That's his call. He called his shot on that.
Nope.
He loves that one.
Nope.
Loves it.
Nope. I have Auburn.
I'm out on Baylor. I don't like Baylor as the 3 seed down there in the West. We'll see. We got our playing tournament games tonight. I don't even know. Who's even playing tonight? We got 2 games tonight, right?
They're tomorrow and Wednesday.
Tomorrow and Wednesday, sorry. So we'll get to the play-in tournaments. We got y'all locked and low with Typico. It's going to do it for us. Appreciate all the support. We'll talk to you on Tuesday. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.